I figured out that when you're doing presentations, that in order to write on the smartboard, you have to present the entire screen. See? Really? Yeah, no, hold on. But it's drawing here. Okay, so let me try. This is why I almost punched my board. Okay, so let me try to, I'm gonna stop presenting. And now I'm gonna try to, I know it looks weird because you can, come on. Now I'm gonna try to present my tab and let's see if it'll let me do that. It should let me work on this. It's supposed to be a smart board, right? Okay, it worked that time. Sometimes, I don't know, I don't understand. Actually, it's something that I'm doing wrong, to be honest with you, but I don't know. No, I mean, I am so sleep deprived and everything. It's probably is something that I'm doing. So, you guys should have the opener going. I still need to make sure I had the right slide up for them. So, there are two major types of constellations for us in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm going to talk about us because that's where we are. There are, and we talked about these, there are circumpolars and there are zodiacs. What's the difference between where they are and how they move? I mean, obviously they're different constellations and they're made up of different stars. So that's an obvious response to that. Yeah, it's just missing Virgo. If you're a Virgo, I apologize. If somebody else put the paper notes, I'm so sorry, but Virgo is not on here, but they are on the ones online. Somehow I missed it. You just have to add them in.
I don't know what any of that.
You know what any of that? Well, all of the zodiacs will be on your test, and the thing that represents them. Anybody else need a paper copy of this?
Yes, I can take them on the other.
That's fine. Some people prefer to do it on paper because these learn better.
I do too, but conservation efforts, I'm going to tell you.
Which one helps you learn better?
Which one will make you? No, I'm in it for the world. No.
All right. Okay. All right. So, guys, what's the difference between? Oh, okay. What does circumpolar mean? Circ. What does that mean? Circle. Guess what polar means? The North Pole. So a circumpolar constellation does what?
North.
It does a circle around the North Pole, which is named what? The star has a name. The North Pole.
The North Star.
But it has a name. No, Sagittarius A star is our black hole in the center of our galaxy. You don't know the name of the North Star?
The North Star.
It has a name.
I did not.
No, it's named Polaris.
I was close.
You were close.
I said Sagittarius.
Sagittarius isn't even a thing, but okay, so it is now the East Star. No, there is a southern pole, but that's the southern hemisphere. We're not worried about that. Let me real quick. Ashley's not here again. Okay, so a circumpolar star or a constellation in the circumpolar constellation is always seen because it goes around the North Pole. They're always up there. What about a zodiac? Can you always see every zodiac? No. How do you see a zodiac? No, I mean, you don't need a telescope to see them. You can look up and see them.
At night.
Yes, it has to be at night. Very good answer. But you can't see them all the time. Why not? I mean, right now you can see Taurus, but you can't see Capricorn. Why can you see Summit sometimes and the Sun at other times? Don't hit each other.
You just hit me.
I saw that.
Because they're seasonal.
I saw it too. There we go. Y'all hush. They're seasonal. They are up at different times of the year, and you're going to see the actual dates. And if you do not know your zodiac sign, you will find out because I put the dates on there. Am I going to ask you to draw the constellations out by hand? No. Do you have to know what that constellation's, I guess, symbol, if you will, is? Yes. And there are certain constellations, you're going to have to know certain stars. I will point them out to you. So, in general, constellations. talk about Hercules first. Who was Hercules?
God.
No, he was a demigod.
A mythical.
Some dude named Hercules.
It was some dude named Hercules. What do you know about Hercules?
He's strong.
He was very strong. What else do you know about
He threw
Hercules?
stuff into the sky, big constellations.
And no, he wasn't the one that threw stuff in the sky. It was Zeus that ended up throwing stuff in the sky. Who was his daddy?
Zeus.
Zeus. Who was his mommy?
Yeah.
No, it was not
There's
Hera.
some mortal.
It was a mortal woman. Now, I don't know her name. I'd have to go back and look it up. Boys. Shh. So Hercules was the strongest man who ever lived according to the lore. Now, obviously, this was not a real person. This is mythology. And Hera was Zeus's goddess wife. Okay, so Zeus and Hera were husband and wife up on Mount Olympus. Zeus came down and visited lots of mortal women in the form of a bull, in the form of golden rain, in the form of all different kinds of stuff, and fathered many demigod children with them. And this really made Hera mad. The one that she hated the most was Hercules. So what she did was she forced him to do these 12 impossible things. Well, guess what those 12 impossible things have something to do with? The zodiac. Now, I am not going to turn this into a giant mythology theology lesson, but I will mention certain parts because they have something to do with why the zodiac is that whatever. Like, why is Leo the lion? Why is Taurus the bull? There are certain things that specifically led up to that. Now, there are other civilizations that added to it. It wasn't just the Greek and the Roman, but those were the big two, Greeks first and then Romans later. Eventually, Hercules did enough good things that Zeus changed him from a demigod to a god. He actually was lifted up to god status. And yes,
Disney movie.
yeah, it was in the Disney movie. Now, I don't think that's very
Well, he
accurate.
a little bit, but then he chose to be mortal because of the landing.
well. He was eventually completely upgraded to god status. But yeah, keep in mind it's a Disney movie, so it's not going to be like 100% to the mythology.
Like they were singing, so.
They were singing. There were. All right, so there are two major things that you need to know about the constellation Hercules. One, his body, his torso, is a square of stars that we call the keystone. And then if you look at the constellation Hercules, now you have to keep in mind the constellations are looking down on you. Okay, so my right hand looks like it's on your left.
Yes.
Okay, so everything looks inverted. You need to know that the brightest star next to his right foot is called Vega. It is one of the brightest stars in the sky. If you get a really nice telescope like the one that I brought up here, you have to calibrate it by certain corner or calibration stars. Vega is one of them. What?
Do you have like a YouTube video or anything that maybe I can?
I do with every section of the notes, and it's uploaded.
Talking like to set up my telescope at home.
No, I do not. And it depends on what type you have, because depending on the software, you may have to update the software. That might be your problem. Is it a Celestron or a Mead? See, I don't know anything about Meads. I know Celestron. Did it not come with like a CD where it had like a tutorial? It should have.
Maybe it did.
You can probably look it up online.
You probably can look it up online. Boys, hush. All right, so this is Hercules.
Wow.
He is big. All right, so this is the keystone right here. Vega's out here. So like I said, if he's looking down on you, this is his right foot, and Vega is next to it. You do not need to know how to draw this. You do not need to know every star that is in this, but the one that you do need to know is Vega. Now, he's got a club in this hand, and he actually beat the lion to death with that club. You couldn't pierce the lion's skin with anything. So instead, he beat it to death with a club. He didn't pierce its flesh. It wasn't real, but this was what happened in the mythology. But this is Hercules. Orion, this is a bunch of background on Orion. You should know this constellation by sight.
Oh.
He is the hunter. And when Orion is visible in the night sky, it is hunting season.
Oh my gosh, that is
Well, it's true. Is it deer season yet? I haven't hunted deer for, it's close though, isn't it? Isn't it close? I can't even remember if it's doe or buck first. I think it's doe. All right, so Orion was fathered by a different god. He was fathered by Poseidon, the god of the sea. Boys, hush. So Orion, a different demigod, was absolutely beautiful. And as he grew up, he found a young lady and he wanted to marry her. And her father was jealous. I guess he wanted to marry his own daughter, which did happen back then. Things were different back then. And so what he did, this father who wanted to marry his daughter, stabbed Orion's eyes out. That's the mythology. Did it really happen? No. Orion, in the constellation, it almost looks like there's a bow here. It's not a bow, it is a shield. And the cluster of stars beyond that is Medusa's head, which was used to kill the Kraken. The Kraken was lit, all right? So you need to know Orion is the hunter. This just gives you some background. I'm going to tell you about the pointer part of the constellation, the stars it points to, and then the other important stars that are in the actual constellation itself. This is Orion. This is up right now. You should recognize this constellation. Now, you probably can't see these stars because there's enough light pollution from Fort Worth, but you can see this part, most definitely. Taurus is up here. That zodiac is up right now.
What's the main star?
Well, okay, so hold on. Let me show you where they are first, and then those are on the next slide. The pointer stars of Orion is what is called Orion's belt. These three stars, which, yes, have the exact same alignment as the Great Pyramids of Egypt, coincidentally, they do. These three stars point to two stars outside of the constellation that you need to know. Going down, it is called Sirius. That is spelled S-I-R-I-U-S, which was a character from the Harry Potter books. She got a lot of characters' names from the stars. S-I-R-I-U-S, like Sirius Black. That's where that came from. The thing about Sirius, why this is important, Sirius is the brightest star in the northern sky. If you see anything brighter than Sirius, you are looking at Venus or Jupiter, or somehow you've mistaken the moon for a star, which I don't think you will. Okay, but the only two stars, which are really planets that are brighter than Sirius, are Venus and Jupiter. And yes, Venus is up right now. Going the other direction through the shield, this bright star is called Aldebaran. That is spelled A-L-D-E-B-A-R-A-N. It is on the next slide. There are three other stars that you need to know in this constellation. This big bright star down here is called Rigel. On the next slide, that is his left foot. His left shoulder's name is Bellatrix, where that character's name came from. No, Bellatrix, the witch, the curly-haired, dark, crazy, bad witch from Harry Potter. No, stop it. The right shoulder's name is Betelgeuse. And the thing about Betelgeuse, first of all, it's 650 light years away. So,
I thought Beetlejuice was a little.
no, I mean, there was a movie Beetlejuice, but that's not, which hopefully you guys have seen. I know it's before
I've
your
seen
time,
it.
but it's actually a good movie. When he turned it, I was young. When he was that snake thing, that scared me when I was a kid.
Dude,
All right, so this shoulder, the thing that is really weird about Beetlejuice is it is very rapidly dimming. Boys, shh. It is a super massive red giant, which means it's probably already gone. It's just that, let's say Betelgeuse blew up 300 years ago. We're not going to see it until 350 years from now. And because it went from such a bright magnitude, even when I was a kid, and it's reduced in luminosity by orders of magnitudes, there's a really good chance that it has supernova. It just takes 650 years for the light of that supernova to come to us. Okay, so I'm pretty sure Beetlejuice is gone. So Beetlejuice, you need to know Beetlejuice. It looks like it's on your left, but it's his right shoulder. Bellatrix is his left shoulder. Rigel is his left foot. You do need to know that the belt points to Sirius and to Aldebaran. And then if you ever do get your telescope fixed, when you look below Orion's belt, there are 3 that look like stars that are hanging down, which makes up the scabbard. In fact, if I go back, I can show you. So if you do have a good scope, now mine's probably a little bit more powerful than yours, but these 3 stars make up the scabbard of the sword. This middle one is actually a stellar nebula, which is birthing stars.
Are those the main stars?
These are your main stars you need to know. And then the pointer, which is the belt, down is Sirius and up is Aldebaran. If you do have a decent scope and you look at the Orion Nebula, which looks like a star with the naked eye, but it's not. When you look at that middle star, it actually looks like a dove in flight. It's absolutely beautiful. And it is blinking on stars left and right. You do need to have colored filters to see it right. Regular old telescopes just look white. What? If I mention specific stars for constellations, there is a very good chance, because I haven't quite made your test, at least one of them, or maybe these, will be somewhere on that test. But you definitely need to know that the Orion is called the Hunter. You've learned the mythology, awesome.
What's the main star?
Those 3 right there.
The pointer stars are the 3 in the belt. The main actual stars in the constellation I'm looking for are these. These 2 stars are not actually within the constellation, but the constellation points to them. Ursa Minor is another one that does that. The way you find Polaris is by the bottom, or the front of the spoon in Ursa Major. Which you should know how to do if you ever get lost in the middle of nowhere at night. At least you know which way is north. No, not Aldebaran. Polaris. All right, so Ursa Major, the big bear. Ursa is bear. Major is big. There's an Ursa Major and an Ursa Minor. And Ursa Major points to Ursa Minor. Draco snakes in between them, another Harry Potter thing.
How do you have all this?
This isn't the first time I've taught space. Plus, I've had a telescope since I was 6 years old.
Really?
Yes. Not a nice one like mine, but yes.
So that's when it all started?
Yeah, I had a telescope and a microscope at the age of 6. So, and my kid she's also had this stuff, well, really since she was born. My kid knows the names of more stars than most adults I know. So, the spoon. So, you got like the cup of, this would be the handle of the spoon, and then this would be the bowl of the spoon. These 2 stars, the ones that make up like the front of the bowl, those point to Polaris, which is the beginning of the little difference. Polaris is the North Star. That is true north. It is always up. You get lost in the desert, which I hope you don't, you at least will know which way is north. That is how mariners traveled the oceans. They looked for Polaris that told them north.
They did one of these things.
Yes, an astrolabe.
I think you should have gone to MIT.
Do what now?
Should have gone to MIT.
You.
I did?
You should have.
How? I don't think I did.
You don't think you what?
Showed you an astrolabe? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I totally misheard all of that. All right, Draco is the dragon that goes in between Ursa Major and Minor. And then this is short for circumpolar. So both bears, Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, Draco, which goes in between them. And then wrapping around this way, you have Cepheus and then Cassiopeia. These are always up. There is another one, the giraffe, but I can't even remember how to pronounce it without looking at the next slide. It's like Camelopelladia or something weird like that. It's not cantaloupe, but it is a giraffe. Y'all ready? Or does anybody need more time?
Polaris. What is that?
Polaris is the northern star. That is how you navigate if you are lost. You know, and you don't have a GPS or a cell phone that'll point you the right way.
I always think a helicopter or something.
That's not gonna happen.
Like if I see something like a helicopter and has that light on it, it's not blinking, but it looks like real stuff.
Okay, no, it's not. All right, so these are a few of the circumpolars. So this is the Big Dipper part. Okay, that's the part you recognize. Now, Ursa Major goes on. This is the head of the bear, the front legs of the bear, and the back legs of the bear. Okay, so that's the entire constellation, but you probably only know this part. These are the pointer stars. You don't have to worry about their names, but the Big Dipper points to this star, which is Polaris, which is the beginning of the handle, and the Little Dipper, Draco, goes in between them. Now, if I superimpose what the Greeks saw, this is their types of drawings that represented what they saw in the sky. No, I don't think they were on drugs, y'all. They just used their imagination. So here's, because every class has asked me, were they high on something? No, I honestly don't think that they were. So here's the Big Dipper part. There's the head, the front, and the back legs. This points to the tail or the handle of the spoon in the Little Dipper, which is also a bear. Draco is the dragon that goes in between. And then we have Cepheus, Cassiopeia, and then Camelopardalis is how you would pronounce that. Most people don't even bring up the giraffe, but it's up there. Like I said, I don't know why now. It's animated twice. I don't know what the heck I did. All right, so now the zodiacs. We're going to do all 12.
Is under zodiac constellation?
Yep, zodiacs. There are 12 of them. Everyone has a range of a date. So if you do not know your zodiac, you're about to find out. I am not going to test you on the dates. This is just for your information. You need to know what is that zodiac associated with. Like, I'm a Capricorn. It is half goat, half fish. It's this ugly thing, huh? What's your zodiac? Virgo is the maiden. I'd have to look. You might be a Scorpio.
I'm
Hold
an
on.
Aquarius.
Hold on. You are a water boy if you are Aquarius. Literally. I am not joking. You said September 5th.
Is that when you help?
You are a Virgo. You are also a maiden. A maiden. I'm not calling you a girl. That's just what the sign is. All right, so the first one, the zodiac starts in spring. That is the beginning of life. Plants are blooming. That is the beginning of their astronomical calendar. They don't start in January. They start in spring. And the very first one is Aries the ram. In mythology, and this is, if your birthday falls here, you are an Aries. Now, if you're right on the edge, then sometimes you have personality traits of different signs. And I can't remember all the personality traits. I can't remember what Aries did, but I can tell you Aries the ram was the ram that grew the golden fleece. Its wool was like spun gold, which Hercules was asked to go and get and bring back and prove to Hera that, you know, he wasn't a deadbeat kid. She hated Hercules. So the horoscope sign, if people get tattoos, this is what Aries looks like. This is the actual stellar formation of Aries. And somehow they saw a ram here. And people will go, oh, well, this has to be the horns, right? No. This is the body. The head is actually over here. They saw weird stuff. Some of them make sense. This one to me does not. Yes.
Are there any facts behind all this, like personality traits and all that? I don't think there is.
Well, okay, so they say that there's like Capricorns, they say have bad knees, bad backs, they're stubborn as snot, and they're extremely organized. That is me to a T. But not every Capricorn is going to be that way. If you're a Scorpio, you're hot-headed. You're fiery. Does not mean that you're mean. You have a very strong personality. Not every Scorpio is like that. If you're a Taurus, you are bull-headed. It is your way or the highway, and even if you're wrong, you're not wrong. The other person's wrong.
Okay, but my mom is like that, but I don't think she's a Taurus. What's your Virgo?
I don't remember Virgo off the top of my head. I didn't go back and look at all of them. I didn't have the time to turn this into a mythology class. So Aries, so the constellation is actually its body. I personally do not see the ram in that. I don't.
I see a bow.
It almost looks like a Superman with a cape. Like I don't see a ram, but okay, that's what they saw. Next one is Taurus. If your birthday is summer, my daughter is a Taurus, somewhere between April 21st and May 21st. It's astronomical thing. It's like the horoscope thing. You can obviously see the horns and then the body. I don't know, it's a circle. Y'all, shh. This one is right above Orion. And it is a very easy to see constellation. Now, come on, go forward. There are two major bull references that go with this sign. The one with Hercules, one of his 12 tasks was to capture this bull and bring it back to Hera, which he did. The other thing goes back to one of Zeus's other demigods. So like I said, he fathered many, many, many demigods. One of them was Minos. Minos fathered the Minotaur, the half bull, half man, like the bull head, bull legs, but like a human torso. And the Minotaur was which guarded that labyrinth. And I'm going to say it was Perseus that had to go and get his horn. I think kill it and steal its horn and then come back out. And I can't remember what he did with it. Oh, yeah. What is it? What? Wiping system. That just sounds lovely. I get one of them this one, right? Refillable surface wiping system. Okay. I'll come back to that. Now, if I superimpose what they saw on here, come on, go. Okay, so you've got, so here, hold on. This part is the nose, and then that's the horns. So there's the nose, goes up into the horns, and then the rest of it was the body. Now I can see the head of the bull in this. Like that one I can get. Now, I don't really see everything else down here. To me, it would be the head, the horns, and then like the front legs. Like it would be like a straight shot on, but that's not really what they superimposed. All right, next. Going later. Gemini. Gemini are the twins Castor, which is this top star, and Pollux, which is this other one. They are holding hands. They look like two stick figures. It is very easy to see the twins in this one. Pollux is brilliant blue, which means it's a very hot, young star. Oh my goodness. The symbol looks like a Roman numeral 2. Not much to it. And it is the twins. I didn't go into the Herculean thing behind this. I just didn't have enough time. I did a lot of that this morning. If you want to see the best meteor shower of the year, December 14th, going into the 15th, late at night, find them. Don't look directly at them, look just off center, and all of the meteors look like they're coming out of Gemini, which is why they are called the Geminids. Those throw 120 meteors an hour, and they throw giant, beautiful fireballs. Not that people watch meteor showers anymore. I do with my kid, but, you know, that's because I like this stuff. Like I said, that's December 14th. The Orionids are in October. I have to get my astrology card stuff. They're October 21st, maybe? All right, so this is what they saw. The two twins holding hands. And it does. It looks like two stick figures holding hands. Next is Cancer. Cancer is a giant crab. My sisters I got younger sisters that are twins. They fall into this group. Now, I can't see a crab in that at all. Like, it's an upside down Y. Like, I don't see a crab in that. But it is represented by a crab. This is the horoscope symbol. Yes. I was having a hard time with the H word. Now, so Hera told Hercules he needed to go slay the Hydra. If you watch the Hercules movie, that was, he chopped the head off that dragon thing and more grow back. But in the process of him slaying the Hydra, she said, ha, 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 and she sent the giant crab to go attack him too. And the crab's name was Cancer. No, it doesn't. Okay, so this is what they saw. I know. No, meth did not exist back then. We're not on meth. I promise that.
They were on something.
So, I've had classes ask, why were they seeing that? Y'all, they had an imagination. It wasn't ruined by television yet. It wasn't. They used their imagination. Y'all stop using your imagination. What? When you're like in 4th grade? All right, so the draconids are October 8th, but they're bad. They're 5 per hour. The Orionids are, I was right, October 21st, but it's also bad. It's only 20 per hour. So you got to be real patient and you have to be away from city lights. Or you won't see anything.
How do I know watches them anymore?
I do.
Well, like the majority of people.
Well, but I also used to live in the middle of nowhere out in the country, and I would just go out in my front yard and it's just the Milky Way across the sky.
Yeah, we can
I
see.
go out in my backyard and there's a giant apartment complex back behind me and it's nothing but a beacon of light.
Yeah.
So, all right, this is Leo the Lion. Next one up, July 23rd to August 23rd. It's actually fairly easy to see the lion. The backwards question mark is the head. So the mane would come down here. This is Regulus. You need to know this star. This is sort of like the chest. And his front legs would come out. This is his body. The back legs would come out and the tail would go that way. I've always been able to see the lion in this constellation. It's a very easy to see constellation also. It's not dim. So Hercules was sent to kill the lion. You could not pierce its skin.
I can see a lot on that.
You can see a lion in this one. I've always been able to. You could not pierce its skin. So he said, okay, and he clubbed it to death. He didn't technically pierce its skin. He beat it to death with a club and then brought its mane back to Hera and then did that task. So superimposing the lion on there, if you cannot see it, here's the backwards question mark. Here's the body. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of looks like a horse.
Yeah. They saw a lion.
That's just my imagination.
Nay.
If you want to go back and like superimpose like the Greek images on top of it, you're more than welcome to. Like I said, I'm not going to ask you to draw out or even make a constellation. We're not going to have enough time. Now, if you guys need time to organize your notebooks, it's fine. Virgo, this is the maid. So turned on her side, it's like she's laying down. These are her legs, these are her arms, and that is her head. You can see the person in this one. This is just flipped right side up. Hercules was sent to steal the Amazon queen's belt, called a girdle, which is this thing. He did. If you go to Roman, she's supposed to be the daughter. Now, this was the same thing as Zeus. But yes, Jupiter and Zeus were like the same top god. It's just one was Greek and one was Roman. If you are a Virgo, it is the maiden. You don't need to know all the theology. Next, Libra. Libra means balance. It is the scale. This is the only sign that is not a living creature. If you have the paper one, I think we skipped Virgo, was the one that was skipped. I didn't even catch it till last class. These are the scales. And if I superimpose the image, it was the old school where it had the bowls on chains and you would put what you were trying to sell in one and then they would weigh it out on the other with known weight. Sometimes they would just use gold and that's how you would get paid. It means balance. Hercules fought a boar in this particular part of mythology. How that translates to a scale, I'm not sure. But I looked it up and it was Hercules fighting the boar was Libra. We have a couple of them left. Scorpio, the scorpion. Pinchers, body, tail. These are the hotheads. I'm not being them. They're animated. October 24th to November 22nd. You need to know that Scorpio is represented by the scorpion. You don't need to know all the theology. I just know that some people are interested in it. Put my We got we got 4 minutes. We'll go right to the bell. All right, next. Well, that's what they saw. But it's easy to see the scorpion in that one. All right, Sagittarius. This is the centaur with the bow and arrow. I didn't pull up any of the mythology on this one. Centaur is like the body of a horse. Within the upper part is a man. They were supposed to be good creatures. And the symbol does look like an arrow. Somehow that is supposed to be that. So we have the head, the body of the man, the body of the horse, and then there's a cape going behind him. I don't ever see that one. All right, going on. Capricorn. This is supposed to be half goat, half fish. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Ever. It does. Okay, but you need to know, Deneb, that specific star. So Capricorn is the half goat fish. Deneb is its bright star. We're going to do Aquarius and Pisces, and we're done. I'm waiting. Just 2 left. You're an Aquarius, you are a water boy. You are a cup bearer. You are. Don't pick on each other. So that's how, somehow that's what they saw. I don't see it. Hey, Aquarius. It is supposed to represent flowing water. It is the cup bearer. Ganymedes was what Ganymede was named for, the Jovian big moon. Ganymedes brought, well, they called it nectar. They didn't call it water, but brought nectar to the gods. And then the last one, if you are a Pisces, you are the tail end of the zodiac calendar. Sorry, it's at the end. All right, last one. I know the bell's about to ring. Pisces. Pisces is fish. Fish that are jumping out of water. So a fish here, that's its head. Fish there, that's its head. Somehow that translated to this. So, like I said, you don't need to know all the theology. And just, some of you do find it very interesting. But you need to know Pisces is represented by fish. Capricorn is the half goat fish thing. That Taurus is the bull. That Cancer is the crab. Sagittarius is the centaur. That's what y'all need to know. Now I need to check online attendance because I think, oh, people came in. Yeah, I see Cole. I see Madison. I'm moving my papers. Okay, I see Cole. Got you, Cole. Wait, Logan wasn't here again, was he? No. Was he here? Was Logan back there? Okay. Hucklebuckle? while I'm checking my online people real quick, go ahead and get on your Chromebook, not your phone. Put your phones away. Get on your Chromebook. Gilbert,
Notes again?
yes, get your stuff out.
You have a paper copy?
I do. The only problem is if you pick up a paper copy, I accidentally left Virgo off of it. I did not do it on purpose. It is actually on the Google Doc. I went and put it back in. So if you're a Virgo, I wasn't trying to skip you. It just, I missed putting it on the paper notes.
Are these grades?
Yes. We talked about this in depth yesterday.
I know, but I'm actually like trying to start like doing myself now.
Okay, so I got Joseph, Misty, Madison. Is there anybody else on there? Ooh, sorry if I was making myself echo. I just turned that off. All right, so that goes that way.
You just run out?
This goes this way. All right, y'all. Yes, so if you, some of you all of a sudden realized this yesterday, yes, your notes are test grade at the end of the 6 weeks. And yeah, so whether you do them online, and then what we'll end up doing is you'll drop them into a folder that will create a share link, and then I'll open up something in Canvas where it can be submitted for a grade. If you need to figure out how to organize it somewhere, somehow, I'm gonna set a day aside to make sure that they are put like in a proper file. If you don't know how to do that, you haven't done it, you need to figure out where they are. The other option is if you're doing them on paper and you want to do a paper submission, I really don't want that, but if that's how you're going to do it, that's okay. Did anybody need a paper version of this? You don't? Okay, so I'm sorry if you are a Virgo, your sign did not make it on here. It is on the actual Google Doc.
I have another question.
What?
How do you tell what sign you are?
We're about to learn how to do that. Gilbert, put your phone away. You want a paper copy? Yeah, if you do not know your zodiac sign, you will see the dates today. Anybody else, paper copy? You'll have to just add the Virgo stuff in. Anybody else, paper copy?
Is it the constellation then?
Yes, constellation. Y'all, 6th period, we went all the way to the bell. No other papers? You do?
No, I got a
No, I have a
question.
question.
What?
You want to walk into terrestrial, or is it too late?
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late now. Wait, I say that. Hold on. If I have a paper copy, I can do it that way.
Paper copy of what?
She missed the terrestrials.
What is the terrestrial?
It was a quiz. Okay, so
I do?
I don't know. I have to go back.
Probably not.
But I'm not unlocking the ones that I locked because then people are going to start doing them and I have to go back and check 180 kids again. But if I go to a paper copy, you give it to me, I know that I can actually put it in the book. That's sort of weird with the students that are remote because I have to figure out an alternative way to do that. All right. I want to get started because if I don't, we are going to go straight to the bell, just like we did last class. Okay, good. I don't see anybody else new. We went over what this focus question is about with the last section that you were tested on. There are two major types of constellations. There are circumpolars, okay, and then there are zodiacs. What is, besides they are different constellations and different stars, okay? What is the major difference between the appearance of a circumpolar constellation and a zodiac constellation? Okay, zodiacs are only seen during certain times of the year. So what does that mean about a circumpolar? You see them all the time, and they're going in a circle around what? And the North Pole is called? It has a name. The star has a name. But it has a name.
Shakira.
It's not Shakira. All right, well, you're about to find out the name of it. So this means in a circle around the North Pole. And these are, they're seasonal. And if you do not know your sign, I will have the dates up here. Now, I will tell you, I'm not going to test you on the dates. That's more if you do not know. Like you don't know which sign you are. But you do need to know for each zodiac what represents it. And if I mention specific stars, you need to know them. all the theology that's going to be up here, that is more for those of you that are interested in it. I'm not going to ask you with cancer, who was it that sent the crab out to go get Hercules? Or what was Hercules really fighting when the crab came out to sabotage him? That's just the theology that's behind, or the mythology that's behind it. And so the first thing we're going to do is we got to talk about Mr. Hercules. What do you know about Hercules?
Not really.
Besides the fact he's a myth.
How do you know he's
Because I've never seen this.
How do you know that he's not real?
He is one of the sons of Zeus. He's one of the demigods of Zeus.
He's done multiple trials to prove himself worthy to be God.
And those are the zodiacs.
And he was incest. Like,
No, he was not incest. No, he was not born of incest. He was half God, half mortal.
So we died halfway.
No, he actually was upgraded. Zeus upgraded him to God status. Okay, so
He's like Maui, but
Hercules was the strongest man in Greek mythology. Okay, his father was Zeus. Zeus liked to have children with mortal women. Zeus's goddess wife's name was Hera. So they were on Mount Olympus. They were gods and goddesses up there. So Zeus and Hera, they were, I don't even know if they were married, but they were like husband and wife. Well, Zeus would go and have cohorts with all these mortal women, and Hera really didn't like it. The one that she hated the most was Hercules. There's a couple of references for Taurus. Zeus used to come down in the form of a bull. He used to come down in the form of golden rain. He used to come down in all different kinds of forms. I know, don't go there. And that's how he would make demigods with these mortal women. Just stop. Stop. Anyways, Hercules did all different kinds of trials. Hera really wanted to kill him, but she couldn't just kill him. So she gave him these 12 impossible tasks where he had to do something which should have killed him to prove to her that he was worthy of not being killed. Things like getting the golden fleece from Ares. Let's see, there was killing the lion. There was killing the boar. I still don't know how that translates into scales, but it does. He had to do all these different things, kill the Hydra. You ever seen the Disney animated movie? Okay, obviously it's a Disney movie, but lots of the feats that were in there very loosely are translated to the mythology that actually was. And no, it's mythology. It didn't really happen, but that was in their storytelling. Now, the things that you need to know about Hercules, besides he was the strong mythological feature, he has a very distinct star square that makes up his torso that is called the keystone. And I'm going to show you the constellation. Do you have to draw the constellations? No. Do you have to know all of the stars? No. I'm going to have you make a constellation. No, but you need to know if there's something it's associated with, and if there are specific stars, or in this case, a cluster of stars that goes along with that constellation. So the body of Hercules is a square. It is the keystone. Now, Pegasus, the winged horse, is a monstrous square in the sky, but we're not going to do all the constellations. When you look at the stars, you have to see it as they are looking at you. Okay, so if I'm Hercules up in the sky, what looks like your left is really my right. Okay, so his right foot, there is an extremely bright star off to the side that is called Vega. I am going to mention quite a few of the important stars, especially if you have decent scopes, because you have to calibrate them to specific stars in the sky. Vega is one of them. It is one of the brightest stars in the sky. It is not the brightest. That is Sirius. This is Hercules. This is the keystone. Okay. The club. This is what he used to bludgeon the lion to death. You couldn't actually pierce the flesh of the lion that was in the trial. So he said, all right, no matter. And he beat it to death with a club. And then brought its mane back to Hera and passed that trial. So his right leg, this is the star that I am talking about, Vega. Vega is actually in the constellation Lyra, but I'm not going to make you memorize all the constellations. There's too many of them. But this is, when we superimpose the image that the Greeks actually drew out, we have records of them, this is what they saw. Do not write all of this. You need to know Orion is the hunter. In fact, when he starts coming up, guess what's right around the corner? Hunting season
For what?
for everything. Well,
There's not
specifically
one
for
season
deer.
for anything.
When does deer season start? I don't even remember. I know it's right around the corner. Okay, I just can't remember which specific day. Now, the meteor shower that comes from Orion is October 21st. They're called the Orionids. You don't need to know that for the text.
Starts the 27th.
That's, well, no. Like, which of the constellations is known as the hunter? It would be Orion. That's the big thing out of all of this. Now, the mythology, Poseidon, who is the god of the sea, he also had relationships with another mortal woman, and Orion was the offspring. Orion was the most beautiful man that ever lived, according to their mythology. And he fell in love with a young mortal lady, and when they were getting ready to get married, her father became jealous. I guess he wanted to marry her himself and stabbed out Orion's eyes. That happened a lot back in mythology. There was Oedipus, that happened a lot back then. So he did eventually regain the sight. Now, if I show Orion, this should look familiar. This is up in the morning. You probably, now hold on, unless you live out in the middle of nowhere, you probably can't see the shield. You probably can't see the sword either. And if you live close enough to Fort Worth, or if you have an apartment complex out your back window, you can't see the scabbard either, because there are 3 stars that are right there. So the pointer stars of Orion are called Orion's belt. These 3 stars are in the exact same alignment as the pyramids in Egypt, the Great Pyramids. The pointer stars are the 3 stars in the belt. They point to 2 stars that are outside of the constellation. And it's on the next slide if you can't read how to spell it. It's on the next slide. Going down, they point to the brightest star in the sky, which is called Sirius. The lady that wrote the Harry Potter books got a lot of her names from the constellations and the stars. In fact, two of them come from here. When you're going up through the shield, they point to one of the other extremely bright stars in the sky, which is called Aldebaran. Don't worry, I have them spelled on the next slide. This star is called Bellatrix, the left shoulder. Once again, he's looking at you. It is his left shoulder. His right shoulder is called Betelgeuse, not the movie. If you have a good telescope and you look at the center star, that these 3 that make the scabbard, the center star is not a star. It is a stellar nebula, and it's absolutely beautiful. It is birthing stars left and right. If you get a good close-up on it, it actually looks like a dove in flight. When I used to take my astronomy kids out, even with the cheaper one I had, you could see the nebula. You do have to have filters to be able to see it right. So this is what the Greeks saw. This cluster of stars is Medusa's head. It was used to kill the Kraken. You want to kill the Kraken? All right.
It's an
The
octopus.
Kraken was like the sea monster that, yeah.
It's an octopus.
Actually,
It wasn't exactly like an octopus. Biggest, it was similar to like a mixture between a like really demented squid / octopus / monster that had this huge maw of teeth. So that's what this is. Okay, so this one, the right shoulder Betelgeuse, boy, the thing that's interesting about Betelgeuse is it is an extremely supermassive red star, which means it's dying very fast. Even since I was a kid, its luminosity has decreased so much in magnitude, we're pretty sure it's already blown up. But because it's 650 light years away, let's say it blew up 300 years ago, we won't see it for 350 more years. There is a really good chance that this star is actually gone. Rigel is that left foot, then that belt down was pointing to Sirius. This is the brightest star in the sky. If you see something brighter than this, you are looking at Jupiter or Venus, or somehow you have mistaken the moon for a star. Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky. And then going up through the shield, it is Aldebaran. Aldebaran.
It's like a Star Wars planet.
It's just what the hell.
Who named
Yeah,
them?
Alderaan.
The Greeks and the
That's the one that
Romans,
got blown
they're
up.
credited with most of the bright stars.
What does Aldebaran mean?
No, not Alderaan.
Aldebaran, I'm assuming, is some other figure. I don't know every single star's meaning. I don't.
Alderaan blew up.
And I lost my software when I moved districts. Hey, Ursa Major. This is the Big Dipper. It really means big bear, okay? Because you don't normally see the stars that make up the bear. You see the handle of the spoon, and then the bowl of the spoon is what you see. Dipper. Now, the bottom of the cup of the spoon, those are pointer stars, and they point to Polaris. So if for some reason you were stranded in the middle of the desert, you would at least be able to tell which way north is, because these things are always up. And I'll show you with the star thing how to do that. And the stars won't help you when you use the sun to figure out east and west.
But they're not always exactly east of exactly.
It's close enough.
I don't know. Sometimes.
Okay.
it's a little
Well,
weird.
like, okay, once you find which one's west, how do you know, like, south or north?
Are you
Which
serious?
side your shadow goes?
Oh. No.
Yes.
No, wait.
Yes.
I confused myself.
Okay. So Draco goes in between the two bears. It's Ursa Major. The little one is Ursa Minor, the big and little dipper. So a lot of people mistaken the Pleiades for the Little Dipper. The Pleiades looks like it, but it's like this big. It's not the Little Dipper. Don't worry, you don't need to know the Pleiades. So the other circumpolar constellations, there's Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, and Draco. Then there's actually three more. Cepheus and Cassiopeia are the two most common ones, but then there's also the giraffe. It's Camelota, something. I have to read it to pronounce it. It's a really long word.
Are there any super small stars?
Yeah, the brown dwarfs are the smallest of the small. No, not that. The smallest known stars are a little bit bigger than Earth. They are brown dwarfs.
So you think there's any like this big?
No.
No,
Never.
no, not a star.
Why not?
Because
Because-
once the size of the earth, you literally just said that.
That we know.
Well, he does have a point that we know, but we have, like, when I
There's
started
so much
teaching,
crazy stuff. There can be literally anything.
Well, yeah, well, then why are you asking the question? Huh?
when I
Because I
first
wonder if
started
there's
teaching
anything-
space, the smallest known star, OO 122b, was a little bit bigger than Jupiter, but we have found some that are smaller than that. So he does actually have a point.
What if there's like a mini solar system like as big as a classroom?
I highly doubt it, but.
That would be crazy.
So here's, y'all, you need to go back. Yeah, I gotta push the button though.
But there's something with some other gravitation.
What if it was all like that at a certain distance?
Huh?
What if it all became tiny at a certain distance?
That's just your field of view. It's small.
No, but at a certain point in space, if I went to space and just kept going, if we went up in a planet, now I would be
Okay.
in the planet.
One thing is for certain.
It's flat.
It's flat.
Did you get it? Okay, so just in case you do not know, this is the Big Dipper, and this is the bowl of the spoon. This is the top. Water would go in this way. These two stars point to the handle of the Little Dipper. This is Polaris. Draco goes in between them. Now the bear is actually bigger. So this is towards the head of the bear, the front legs of the bear, the back legs of the bear, and then that's the back end, that's the tail. Most people only recognize this part. To show you zoomed out, which is as bright as it's going to get because that window's open. So here's the Big Dipper. These point to the North Star, Polaris. Draco goes in between them, and then going around, we have Cepheus, Cassiopeia, and then the giraffe is pronounced Camelopardalis. That's not one that most people talk about. You want to be a giraffe
Yeah, you up in space and just chill.
until a lion comes along, or another giraffe for that matter, and hits you with the horns on the top of its head and breaks your leg.
Not unless you're Kimbo Slice.
Just be the bigger giraffe.
Okay. Zodiacs, y'all. we are gonna run out of time, and these are all on the test. The zodiacs, there are 12. They are mostly related to the 12 feet of Hercules. There are both Greek and Roman influences on all 12 zodiacs. I cannot go into the mythology of every single one. It is too much.
What was the circumpolar constellation?
Those are the ones that go around the North Star, which is Polaris, and they're always visible. Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, Draco, those.
So if I just put always visible, it's on.
Around the North Star, which is Polaris. All right, we have to start with the beginning of the zodiac calendar, which is spring. They don't start in January, they start in spring, and they start with Aries. Aries was the ram that grew the golden fleece that Hercules had to go and get and take back to Hera. Yes, Aries is also the god of war. Mars was in a different theology. If your birthday falls in between here, you are a ram. The horoscope image is this one. This is the star formation. It does not look like a ram to me at all, because some people go, oh, those have to be the horns. No, it's not. This is its body. Its head is over here. I don't see a ram in this. So let me superimpose, because we have drawings from what the Greeks thought that they saw. This is what they saw.
Whoa, I can see it now.
No, some of them, like Scorpio looks like a scorpion. It does. Gemini looks like two stick figures holding hands. Those are the twins. Like some of them actually look like it. This one does not.
I'm stupid. If you're born between March 21st and April 30th.
Stop. Okay, so once again, because I don't want you writing everything you see, you do not need to be able to recall the date. This is to let you know what your zodiac sign is if you don't know. What you need to know is Aries is the ram. The stars do not look like a ram to me either. I totally agree. All right, the next one. This is Taurus. If you were born between the 21st of April and May 21st, your sign is the bull. So your horoscope looking sign is this. Now, this is the bull's face. These are the horns. This is the chest, and this is the front legs, like it's running at you.
It just looks like a bunch of lines. It does.
It's like it's coming out of the stars towards you, like straight at you. So you don't necessarily have to know all the theology. Yes, you need to know Taurus is the bull. With Hercules, he had to capture the specific bull and take it back to Hera. But also, if you go back to Zeus, Zeus fathered another demigod, Minos, who fathered the Minotaur, who guarded the labyrinth that Perseus had to go and steal his horn. It was a Minotaur. It's like the bottom part is the back end of a bull, and it has a bull's head, but it has like the torso of a human. It has human hands, but it has like cloven feet. So no, you don't have to know this part. You need to know that Taurus is the bull. I don't think I'm going to put theology on the test. All right, so let me go back. So this is what the Greeks saw. So the nose, and you have the horns, and then the rest of it.
Oh.
That
My question is, how do you see that and you go, that's a bull?
I don't know. Go back 3,000 years and ask them. I don't know. This is Gemini. The horoscope looking thing is almost like a Roman numeral 2. This is the twins, Castor and Pollux. This is Castor, this is Pollux, and it's like two stick figures holding hands.
Yeah.
They're the twins. Castor is the one on the right, and Pollux is the one on the left.
Is this the rarest one to be?
No. It just happens to be if you fall in the sign. What the Greeks saw was this, but honestly, you can see the two people. They're two stick figures. Now, I will tell you, December 14th, the best meteor shower ever comes from them. You don't look directly at this. Yes, it has to be after midnight to see the good ones. You sort of look off to the side. When my daughter and I were looking at it, they're off that way, and we saw the fireballs from over here. So absolutely the best meteor shower of the year comes out of Gemini. They are called the Geminids. They throw fireballs, and you've got 120 of them shooting out every minute. Well, if it's a storm. If it's just a shower, then it's about a tenth of that. All right, next one. Cancer. I have younger sisters that are twins. Their birthday falls in here. Somehow this is supposed to be a crab. Crab.
Oh, I see it, it's right there.
That's like 69.
No, it's the symbol for cancer. That's not what that says.
That is a 6.5.
It is not.
What is it?
It's the symbol for cancer.
Yo, why is that?
Imagine two crab claws going like this.
I guess.
Oh.
Okay, so
69.
stop. So in the Herculean, the lore, this is where Hera sent him to fight the Hydra, where you chop off the head and more grow back. But at the same time he was fighting the Hydra, she sent Cancer the crab to like sabotage him. Hera really did not like Hercules. So even though the task was to kill the Hydra, it's the fact that she sabotaged him with Cancer the crab that is associated with cancer. This is somehow how they saw a crab. This is one that I just do not get. No, I get the bull. I don't understand Capricorn. I don't understand how they saw a crab. Well, I am a Capricorn, but I don't know how they get the goat and fish out of it. Yeah, Capricorn is half goat, half fish.
Isn't there one called Virgo?
Yep. But Virgo's not on the paper when it was left off. I somehow I skipped it when I was putting this together yesterday. All right, so Leo, I can see the lion. Leo's from July 23rd to August 23rd. Hercules was sent to kill this lion. You could not pierce its flesh, so he clubbed it to death. This is the head. The mane and the chest is right here. This is the body. And then the legs go out this way and the tail goes that way. Oh, come on, go. So, head, you do need to know that this star is called Regulus, another name from the Harry Potter books. You need to know that Leo is the symbol's the lion, and that bright star in its chest is called Regulus, right here. You don't have to be able to identify the position. You just need to know the star that's corresponding to this constellation.
Is there any birthdays that aren't on it?
No. Nope.
Hey, Miss Ricky, I have a
Yes.
question. So some dude told me that lobsters can see more colors than we can.
Mantis shrimp.
How? How do they?
They
know
have
that?
different receptors. They can see in ultraviolet, infrared, and the visible spectrum. They have 16 photoreceptors. We have 3.
But how did they figure that out?
Actually, we have 5 if you count the,
How'd they figure that out?
because they can look inside their eyes and find the receptors.
Because they're stupid.
So next one, Virgo. I am sorry, I left Virgo out on the paper copy. Virgo is the maid or the maiden.
I can't draw.
So she's like laying on her side. I'm going to flip the Greek one I have flips her so she's standing right side up. So the legs, the arms, and the head. What Hercules was sent to do was to steal this, what's called a girdle, a belt from an Amazon queen. That was the whole part of the lore for Hercules. No, Hercules was just told to do 12 impossible things that Hera thought that she would die in the process of doing, which he did not.
Your sign.
Huh?
They mean anything?
Well, I mean, it's just the zodiacs. It's just you guys don't, some of you don't know your zodiac sign.
Why
Who
did that-
cares?
What if it? Why did
It
it-
doesn't
why
affect
did
me in
it-
any way. I'm mad.
Because some people think it's their personality trait.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Like blue hair people.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Basically, I don't think you're talking about that.
That means no.
No, we got a couple left. Next, Libra. Thank you.
Pretty sure it is like half loose.
Okay, I'm gonna stick them right here. So next one is the scales. from September 24th to October 23rd. This is the only zodiac that is not a living thing. It means balance.
Oh, yeah.
In the Herculean lore, he had to fight a boar. I still don't know how that translates to scales, but it does. And the old school scales, they had two different bowls that were suspended by ropes or chains. And you put what you were trying to sell in one, and then they would weigh out how much that was in the other, and that would determine how much gold or silver or whatever you were being paid in would be your payment for whatever you were selling.
Yeah. Can I sell a big rock and let it
Well, I mean, they don't do scales like this anymore. But...
What if it's a boulder? I mean, back then, if I got like a big rock,
Well, I mean, it would have to have some type of value to the merchant.
it's a special magical.
Yeah, it has like.
I know you can get away with doing stuff like that back then because everybody thought, like a magnet was magic.
And if you had a
I could
magnet,
sell
you're
like
always
these snake
thinking of-
eggs or something.
We're almost done. Scorpio. Scorpio is the scorpion. I know, we're almost done. These are the pinchers. This is the body. And then this is the tail with the stinger on it. This one I can see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That one I can see.
That makes sense.
If your birthday is from October 24th to the 22nd, you're Scorpio. The characteristics of Scorpios, you tend to be a more animated person. Not like you're just going to run and punch somebody, but you're more of a heated person.
How do you know that?
That's just the characteristics that go along with this. Does that mean that everybody that's a Scorpio is like that? No.
So the signs do mean something.
They assign certain characteristics to the sign. It does not mean that you're going to be that way. And no, I do not know all of the signs.
What, do you know Leo?
No, not off the top of my head. I know Taurus tend to be very pushy. Capricorn tend to be very stubborn. But no, I do not know all of them. Almost done. Sagittarius. No, boys. November 23rd to December 20. Come on. 21st. This is the centaur. It is represented by an arrow. I can't see a centaur in this. That's like the body of a horse, but then the man's torso comes up.
I can see it.
Okay, I know it's hard to see this one, but this is the back legs and then the front legs. This is the body of the horse. This is the torso of the man, his head. There's a cape going behind him. He's actually pulling a bow or an arrow back in the bow.
Who were they on?
They weren't. They used their imaginations.
Do they take drugs? now?
I don't think so.
You're telling me they came up with all these.
What do you mean they didn't do drugs?
Right.
They didn't have like
Ayahuasca
acid
around
or
for like 10,000 years.
Capricorn, y'all. Shh. Capricorn is the one that I fall under. This is somehow supposed to be half goat and half fish, and I've never seen it ever. I see it in here, but I don't see it in that. This is Deneb. You do need to know that that's the brightest star. This is actually a very brilliant constellation. So the horn of the goat, the front leg, body of the goat, and then the tail of the fish. Now I'm going to superimpose what they saw. I still don't see it.
Yeah, I had that.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah, I got that.
Dude, it's like a sequel.
I got that. Yeah, no problem.
Deneb. Deneb. D-E-N-E-B. Deneb. It's this one back here. We got two more. Next is Aquarius. This is Aquarius. This is supposed to represent flowing water.
Wait, what?
This, flowing water.
Wait, didn't it skip December?
Yes, they were Thursday.
No,
Late December?
December is.
no.
If you're born in December.
Late December into like the latter mid part of January is Capricorn. All right, so this is essentially a glorified water boy.
Water line.
Ganymedes, which Ganymede was named for, Yalsh. Ganymedes brought what was ambrosia, nectar to the gods. He was basically a water boy. This is the pitcher. This is Ganymedes, and this is the water that is flowing out. That is what they saw.
He was like the magical water.
Dude, I would be-
Basically, yes.
I feel like they ate shrooms.
They definitely did.
What are you talking about?
I feel like they knew about mushrooms.
I don't know.
We know about mushrooms.
Shush, guys. The very last one we have brings us back around to spring. So Pisces is the fish. There's actually two fish that are leaping out of the water. This is the surface of the water. This is fish number one. This is fish number two. Okay, so keep in mind, all of the zodiac will be on this test. You do not need to know the dates. You need to know what it's represented by. So Pisces is the fish. Do you need to know that it was Eros and Aphrodite? No. Pisces. Pisces.
What's that Reese's?
So you didn't even know there was a bunch of this. What does that say, Gypsy?
Oh, it is misspelled. It's supposed to be SC. I did spell it wrong. I did spell it wrong. That E is supposed to be an S. Nobody has caught that. I've been through, this is the fifth time I've been through this and nobody caught that. No, it's Pisces with an S. Y'all, stop. All right, now, okay, I'm going to mute myself